Malinin Ilia. February 2026 is the date. The ice skating arena in Milan is completely full. Team USA is under a lot of strain, although they are in the lead in the team competition. The Japanese powerhouse is closing the gap between them. The men's free skate is the culmination of the entire 4-year cycle. A typical athlete takes things easy. A typical athlete completes the necessary calculations, makes the necessary leaps, and coasts to victory. Ilia Malinin is not your typical sports person. Ilia did not simply spin into a final pose in the last seconds of a program that had already broken the field technically. He flung himself back into the air, turned his body over entirely, and came to rest on one frightfully thin steel blade. It was not courteous applause that erupted from the crowd. It was the sound of a sport being hauled into a new era with a scream and a kick. Ilia Malinin did more than simply punctuate his performance with that backflip, a feat that was prohibited in Olympic competition for decades. In the figure skating team event, he formally won the Olympic gold medal for the United States. The American skaters had been waiting for medals that were in legal limbo for 4 years. Living in the shadow of the Beijing affair, there was no waiting. However, in Milan, no attorneys were present. The world was informed that the wait was finally over by the quad god, who was soaring upside down. You must comprehend the team event's pressure cooker. In order to appreciate the significance of this medal, it's a cage bout in mathematics. Points are given according to placement in each discipline, and 10 countries compete. Ice dance pairs. Men's and women's. First place earns 10 points, second place earns 9, and so forth. Team USA and Team Japan were engaged in a dogfight heading into the last day. Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, the American seasoned ice dancers, gave outstanding performances and served as the team's emotional support. However, everyone was aware that the men's free skate would be the decisive factor. A finisher was needed. By Team USA, they needed someone who wasn't just going to beat the skater from Japan. Someone was needed to bury the competition so deeply that the numbers didn't matter. Let's meet Ilia Malinin. He gave a surgical performance in the free skate. He did not need to use all 6 of his quadriceps. Critics who claimed he was merely a jumping machine were silenced by his clever program for faultless quadruples, enormous triple-triple combinations, and artistic ability. He amassed an incredible 207.44 points. It added the vital 10 points to Team USA's total and was sufficient to guarantee the top rank in the section. The USA was first, Japan was second, and Canada was third when the final scores appeared. The kiss and cry celebration was wild. Take a closer look at the video. Ilia Malinin, a 21-year-old former lone wolf who is now the undisputed cornerstone of the best figure skating team in the world, is visible in the midst of the veterans' tears. He carried the flag across the finish line in addition to earning his points. However, let's discuss the backflip, the event that rocked the internet. The backflip is considered the ultimate forbidden fruit in figure skating legend. It was prohibited by the International Skating Union, or ISU, for many years for Olympic ice.
Ilia Malinin, it is February 2026.
And not respectable
the Milano
enough.
ice skating arena
the most
is
well-known
packed to the
instance occurred
rafters.
during the
The pressure on
1998
Team
Nagano
USA
Olympics,
is suffocating.
when French skater
They are
Surya
leading the
Manali
team
performed
event,
a backflip on
but
one
the
foot in
Japanese
front
powerhouse
of the judges.
is breathing down their necks.
Knowing she would not be
The
able to
entire
win gold
4-year
due to
cycle
an
comes
injury,
down to the men's
the
free
establishment
skate.
received
A normal
a
athlete
huge
plays
middle
it safe.
finger.
A normal
The
athlete
move
does the
remained
math,
unlawful for
lands
26
the
years
requisite
after
jumps,
she was fined. It
and
was
coasts
only
to victory.
Ilia Malinin Malinin
Ilia
that
Malinin
dared to try
is
it in
not
competition.
a normal athlete.
Malinin and a few
In
other
the final
skaters
seconds
started
of a
pushing the
program that had
International
already shattered
Skating
the field
Union,
technically,
or ISU,
Ilia did not
prior
just
to the
spin into a final
2024 to
pose.
2025
He launched
season.
himself
They
backward into the air,
maintained that in
inverted
order
his
to
body
appeal to a
completely,
younger audience,
and landed
the
on a
sport
single,
needed to change.
terrifyingly thin
the ISU
steel
listened,
blade.
which was amazing. The
The roar
prohibition
from the
was
crowd
lifted.
was not
However,
polite applause.
legality
It was the
does
sound
not
of a
equate to
sport being
intelligence.
dragged, kicking,
skating
and screaming
backflips physics
into a
are
new era.
horrifying. Friction
With that
helps you
backflip,
take off
a
and
move
land
that
on
was
dry terrain.
illegal in Olympic
You have
competition
none
for
on
decades.
ice.
Ilia
You
Malinin
must
did
use
not just put
only
an
your skate's toe
exclamation
pick
point
to
on
produce
his
a
performance.
tremendous amount of
He
vertical
officially
lift.
secured the
You
Olympic
must
gold
turn
medal for
backward
Team
blindly
USA
and the
in the figure skating
landing.
team event.
You are descending onto
For
a
4
curved
years,
metal blade
the
that
American
is barely
skaters
4
have lived in the
millimeters
shadow
thick
of the
after
Beijing
flying.
scandal, waiting for
5
medals that
feet.
were caught in
You
legal
break
limbo.
your ankle if you are
But in
even
Milan,
an inch off your
there
center
was
of
no
gravity. Even worse,
There were no lawyers.
you smack your
There
head
was
onto
just the quad
ice
god,
after catching
soaring
an egg.
upside down,
Given that
telling
a
the
fall
world
could
that the
have
wait was
destroyed
finally over.
everything. Why do
To
it
understand
in
the
the closing
magnitude
seconds
of this
an
gold,
Olympic gold
you have to
medal
understand the pressure
performance?
cooker of the team
Because
event.
Ilia
It is a
Malinin has some
mathematical
knowledge about
cage match.
contemporary sports.
10 nations
Feelings
compete,
are important.
and points
For
are
the
awarded
flip,
based
he
on
did
placement
not
in
receive
each discipline. Men's,
a significant
women's,
point bonus
pairs,
for the sake
and
of culture.
ice dance.
He did
10
it.
points for first,
he took this
9
action
for
to
second,
demonstrate that
and
the
so on.
USA squad wasn't
Going into the
merely
final
there
day,
to win on
it was a
technicalities.
dogfight between Team
Their
USA
purpose was
and
to
Team
possess
Japan.
the ice. The
The
ultimate
Americans
flex
had
was
incredible
that,
performances
a
from their
declaration
veteran ice dancers,
that he could risk
Madison
everything
Chalk
for the
and Evan
excitement
Bates,
of it since he
who
was
provided
so
the
in
emotional
control of his
ballast for the team.
edges.
But
You must
everyone
go
knew
back
it would
for
come
years
down to the men's free
Beijing.
skate.
In order to
USA
completely
needed a
understand the tears
finisher.
in the American
They
Kiss
needed
and
someone who would
Crybox
not just beat the
2022,
Japanese skater.
the
They
previous
needed someone to
generation
bury the
of
competition
American
so deep
skaters
that the math
should
became
have been
irrelevant.
crowned in that team event.
Enter
Donahue, Hubble,
Ilia
Vincent
Malinin.
Joe,
His
and
performance
Nathan
in the
Chen.
free skate
They came in
was
second
surgical.
that evening
He didn't
behind
need
the
to
Russian
unleash his full
Olympic
arsenal
Committee
of 6 quads.
and skated
Instead,
magnificently.
he delivered
However,
a smart program.
Camila
4
Balva's
flawless
first drug test
quadruples,
result was announced
massive
before the
triple
medals
combinations,
could be hung around
and artistry
there.
that silenced the
Next,
critics who
the
said he
medal
was just a
ceremony
jumping
was called
machine.
off with sad hearts
He scored a
and empty
massive
hands.
207.44
The American team
points.
departed Beijing.
It was enough to
before
secure the
they were
top spot in
finally
the
awarded
segment,
their gold
adding
medals
the
in a
crucial 10
makeshift
points
ceremony
to
in
Team
Paris in
USA's
2024.
When
they
the
had
final
to endure
scores
more
flashed
than
up,
700
USA
days
first,
and a
Japan
full years
second,
of court battles
Canada
and
third.
appeals.
The celebration
It
in the
left
kiss
the
and
U.S.
cry
figure
was
skating
frantic.
community with a
Look
bad taste
closer at the
and
footage.
was equally
You see
delayed.
the veterans crying.
The
And
goal
in the middle
of the
of it all,
2026
you see
Milan
Ilia
Games was to
Malinin,
clear
the
that
21-year-old
this
who
gold
used to be
medal
known
is
as a
not
lone
like the
wolf,
others.
now standing as
It
the
happens
undeniable
instantly.
anchor
There
of
is
the greatest
no
figure
denying
skating
it.
team
No
in the world.
asterisk star.
He didn't just
Freeze
win his
it.
points,
No lab
he
results
carried
are
the flag
pending.
across the
During
finish
the
line.
Beijing incident,
But let's talk
Ilia
about the
Malinin
moment
was a
that broke the
teenager
internet.
making her
The
way up the
backflip.
junior level.
In figure skating lore,
he saw the moment
backflip
stolen
is the
from his
ultimate
heroes.
forbidden fruit. For
He made it
decades,
his mission
was
to
banned by
prevent
the
history
International
from happening
Skating
again
Union,
in
the
Milan.
ISU.
He
It was
made sure
considered
that the
too
victory
dangerous,
margin was too large
circus-like,
for any
and not
controversy to
dignified
affect
enough
the
for
race.
Olympic ice.
By putting
The
on
most
such
famous
a strong
example came
performance,
at the
this gold
1998
isn't
Nagano
limited
Olympics,
to Milan
when
skaters.
French skater
It
Surya
is dedicated to the
Bonali,
skaters
knowing she
whose
could not win
anthem
gold
was
because of an
never
injury,
performed
did a
in
backflip
Beijing.
on one foot,
The
right in front of
dominance
the
of the
judges.
present and the
It was a
heartache of the
massive
past
middle
are
finger
connected
to the
by
establishment.
Ilia Malinin.
She was
The knock
penalized,
on Ilia
and the
Malinin
move
was
remained
straightforward for
illegal.
years. He is a
For
soulless
26
jumping
years, no one dared to try it in
machine.
competition
Critics claim
until
that he
Ilia
stacked
Malinin.
quads without
In
any
the lead up to the
consideration for rhythm
2024
or
to
beauty.
2025 season,
Treating
Malinin
skating
and a
like
few
a
other skaters
mathematical
began lobbying
formula.
the International
Ilia
Skating
Malinin
Union, the
ultimately put an
ISU.
end to the story
They
in
argued
the
that the
team
sport
event.
needed to evolve
The jumps were
to become
there,
more
indeed.
exciting for a
The
younger
quad
generation.
lunge and
Amazingly,
the quad flip were
the
huge,
ISU
fluid,
listened.
and appeared to
They
defy
lifted the ban.
gravity.
But
Take
just
note
because
of the
it is
distance
legal
between
does not
the
mean
jumps,
it is smart.
though. In
The
an
physics of a skating
international
backflip
championship,
are terrifying.
his artistry score and
On
program
dry land,
component scores hours
You have
were the
friction to
highest
help
of
you
his
take off
career.
and land.
He performed
On
with a
ice,
level of
you have
maturity,
none.
connection
You
to the
have to
song,
generate enormous
and
vertical
qualities
lift
that we haven't
purely
seen
from
in
the
him
toe pick
before.
of your skate.
He hunted more than.
You have to rotate
Quote,
blindly
he was
backward.
narrating
And the
a
landing,
tale.
you are dropping
This
from
was
5
a
feet in the
masterclass
air
in
onto a
tactical.
curved
Ilia
metal
was
blade
aware that
that is only
maintaining
4
consistency
millimeters
was
thick.
more crucial
If you miss your
for the
center of
team
gravity
event
by
than
an
breaking
inch,
world
you break an
records.
ankle.
He
Or
excluded his
worse,
trademark
you catch
quad
an
axle,
edge and
the
slam your
world's
head
toughest
onto
jump
the ice.
from.
So
The
why
show,
do it in the final
wasn't
seconds of an
necessary
Olympic
for
gold
him
medal
to
performance
ensure his team
when a
would
fall
win.
could have
He went
ruined
with
everything?
a safer layout. That
Because Ilia
demonstrates a
Malinin
horrifying shift in
understands
his
something about
perspective.
modern sports.
The quad deity
Vibe
is now
matters.
a cunning tactician.
He did not get a
He
huge
is aware
point bonus
of when
for
to
the
play
flip.
the percentages
He did it for
and
the
when to
culture.
push the
He
boundaries.
did it to show that Team
And
USA
before
was
the
not just
individual
here to
tournament
win
has
on
even begun,
technicalities.
he
They were here
already
to own
has
the ice.
an
It
Olympic
was the
gold medal
ultimate
around
flex,
his neck.
a
The
statement
pressure
that he
valve
was
is
so
now
in control
open.
of his edges
He has
that he could
fulfilled
risk
his national
everything
obligation.
just for the thrill
He can
of it.
now skate on his own.
To fully
In a
appreciate
few
the
days,
tears in the
the
American
men's
kiss and
individual
cry
event will
box,
get
you
underway.
have to rewind
The
4
Milano
years to
Arena faces
Beijing
a straightforward
2022.
question. Is there
That
anyone
team
who can
event should
stop
have been a
this
coronation
man?
for the previous
Mullen has
generation
the
of
full
American
momentum on his
skaters.
side.
Nathan
The
Chen,
ice has already
Vincent
been
Zhou,
felt by
Hubble,
him.
and
The
Donahue.
noise of
They skated
the audience
brilliantly
has already
and finished
reached him.
second on the
He
night
has
behind the
already
Russian
defeated
Olympic
his
Committee.
fiercest opponent.
But before the medals
Japanese
could be hung
competitors
around their
Yuma
necks,
Kageyama
the
and
news
Shoma
broke
Ono
about
in a
Kamila
head-to-head
Valieva's
match.
positive doping
The
test.
statement
The medal
backflip
ceremony
dealt the
was
rest of
canceled.
the field a
The
terrible
American team left
psychological
Beijing
blow.
with empty hands and
It
broken
made
hearts.
a strong statement.
They waited over
While
700
you are
days,
all
2
worrying
full
about your
years of court battles and
rotations.
appeals,
I am
before they
enjoying
finally
myself
received their gold medals
outside.
in a makeshift
The
ceremony
gloves
in
are
Paris
taken
in
off in
2024.
the individual event.
It was
is
justice
no
delayed,
longer
and it
necessary
left a
for
bitter taste
Ilia
in the
Malinin
mouth of
to
U.S.
defend a
figure
team
skating.
score.
The 2026
it is anticipated
Milan
that he
Games
will
were about
unleash his
cleansing that
entire
palette.
repertoire,
This gold medal is different.
including the
It is
quad
immediate.
axle, the
It is
6 quad
undeniable.
layout, and
There are no
most
asterisks.
likely
There are no
the
pending
backflip.
lab results.
The stakes are historic
Ilia
once more.
Malinin was
Ilya,
just a
who
teenager
is
rising
only
through the junior
21
ranks
years
when the
old,
Beijing scandal
will
happened.
become one of the greatest
He watched
skaters
his
of all
idols get
time if
robbed
he
of their
wins
moment.
the individual
In
gold.
Milan, he took it
In
upon
addition
himself
to his
to ensure
team
that
gold
history
with the
would
world
not
title,
repeat itself.
the Grand Prix final
By delivering
title,
such a dominant
and
performance,
the Olympic crown
he
all at
ensured
once.
that the margin
he
of
is
victory
aiming for the
was
Grand
too
Slam
big
of
for any
figure
controversy
skating.
to erase.
The Japanese squad
This
will
gold
reassemble.
isn't
They'll
just for the
return
skaters
with
in
more
Milan.
vigor.
It's for the
However,
skaters
they
who
no
never got
longer
their
have to
anthem
deal with a
played in
gifted child
Beijing.
who could lose it under duress.
Ilia Malinin
They are up
is the
against
bridge
an
between
Olympic
the
champion
heartbreak of
who
the past
recently laughed for
and the
minutes
dominance of
while
the present.
defying gravity.
For years,
in the
the
modern
knock on
world
Ilia
of
Malinin
athletics,
was simple.
character is just as
He's a
crucial
jumping
as
machine
skill.
with no soul.
We are looking for
Critics
athletes
said he treated
who
skating
don't
like a
fit the
math equation,
mold.
stacking
the
up quads
protagonist
with
of the
zero regard for
2026
artistry
Winter
or
Olympics
musicality.
is Ilia Malinin.
In the team event,
he accomplished
Ilia
more
Malinin
than just
finally
bring
killed
home a
that
gold.
narrative. Yes,
Medal for the
the
U.S.
jumps were there.
He brought music,
The quad flip
a subjective
and the quad
and
lutz
frequently
were
stuffy
enormous,
sport.
effortless,
Stuffy sport.
and seemed to defy gravity. But look at the space between the jumps. His program component scores, the mark for artistry, were the highest of his career in an international championship. He showed a maturity, a connection to the music, and a performance quality that we haven't seen from him before. He wasn't just hunting quads, he was telling a story. This was a tactical masterclass. Ilia knew that for the team event, consistency was more important than setting world records. He left his signature quad axle, the hardest jump in the world, out of the program. He didn't need it. He chose a safer layout to guarantee the points for his team. That shows a terrifying evolution in his mindset. The quad god has become a strategist. He knows when to push the envelope and when to play the percentages. And now, he has an Olympic gold medal around his neck before the individual competition has even started. The pressure valve has been released. He has done his duty for his country. Now he gets to skate for himself. The men's individual event begins in just a few days. The question hanging over the Milano Arena is simple. Can anyone stop this man? The momentum is entirely in Malinin's corner. He has already felt the ice. He has already heard the crowd roar. He has already beaten his biggest rivals, Yuma Kageyama and Shoma Uno of Japan, in a head-to-head showdown. Psychologically, the statement backflip was a devastating blow to the rest of the field. It sent a clear message: I am having fun out here, while you are all stressing about your rotations. In the individual event, the gloves come off. Ilia Malinin no longer has to protect a team score. He is expected to unleash the full arsenal, the quad axle, the 6 quad layout, and yes, probably the backflip again. The stakes are historic. If Ilia wins the individual gold to go along with his team gold, he enters the pantheon of the greatest skaters of all time at just 21 years old. He is chasing the Grand Slam of figure skating, holding the world title, the Grand Prix final title, and the Olympic title simultaneously. The Japanese team will regroup. They will come back harder. But they are no longer facing a talented kid who might crack under pressure. They are facing an Olympic champion who just spent 4 minutes laughing in the face of gravity. We live in an era of sports where personality is just as important as performance. We want athletes who break the mold. Ilia Malinin is the main character of the 2026 Winter Olympics. He did not just win a gold medal for the United States. He dragged a subjective, often stuffy sport into the 21st century. He took a move that was banned for being too rebellious and made it the signature moment of the Games. He proved that you can respect the tradition of figure skating while still lighting it on fire. The image of Ilia Malinin, upside down, suspended in the air above the Olympic rings, is going to be the defining photo of Milano Cortina. It represents a new generation that refuses to be told what is impossible or illegal. Team USA has their redemption. The veterans have their moment. And Ilia Malinin has his crown. He did not just land a backflip. He flipped the entire sport on its head, and Team USA finally has the gold to prove it.